Payday is a franchise that we like to talk about a lot in this channel. The story of a bunch of clowns, literally, who decided that they don't want to be poor anymore. So they started robbing anything they could get their hands on. From a small store in a corner of Washington DC all the way to the White House. Now lately, Payday franchise has been sinking in some doo-doo water. So it's best if we focus on its past than its future. Damn, that was hard. Admit it, that was hard. When life becomes difficult, focus on your past to find the root of your problems, then your future. Okay, maybe it wasn't as hard as I thought, but who cares? I already did talk about this game before briefly in one of my older videos, but today, we are here to talk about the original Payday in depth. Back in 2011, someone at Overkill bought himself a pizza and watched the movie Heat, which was about a crew who pulled off heists and also spoke about it very openly.
I am never going back. Then don't take down scores.
I do what I do best. I take scores. You do what you do best, trying to stop guys like me.
What? He's a cop, right? He's a cop. What if he's wearing a wire? What the hell? The guy in our story liked the movie so much that they thought, wow, I can make this into a game. Then make a sequel that is even better. And then another sequel that will shoot my reputation straight into the toilet. So they made Payday the Heist, or Payday 1 if you're that type of person, making it the first game made by Overkill Software. These days, people don't really talk about this game in Payday community, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of players who don't even know it exists. You might be sitting in your chair thinking just because you spend a lot of your precious time on Payday 2, you can take a wild guess about what is going on in Payday the Heist. But oh boy, you're in for a treat. Payday the Heist doesn't even give you an explanation about what this game is, or who you are, or what is going on. You are just thrown into the game, asked to buy a DLC first, of course, because Overkill likes money, then just asked to start heisting. No tutorial, just go out there and make some money. They got their expectations a little too high for a starter, and this becomes a theme later on. Let's start with something simple, let's see, how about the heists? Unlike Payday 2, which has 5 billion heists, Payday the Heist only has 9. I should say that I like the creativity the devs had with these heists. Given that they watched a movie about a bank robbery, they gave us a lot more than just banks. Yes, Payday 2, I'm talking to you. You can't just change the loot in the vault and call it a different heist. You've probably already played all these 9 heists in Payday 2, but let me tell you, these heists might look the same, but they don't play out the same one bit. Sure, I can sit here and talk about how much less polished this game is. Oh, that surprised you? Take a look at this. Wow, that was just horrible. What was that? Because of the lag? What was that? Yeah. But hey, it was Overkill's first game. I'm not here to criticize their bugs. First of all, in Payday 2 and 3, yeah, I guess we can fit your stinky ass in here too, you got a plan A and a plan B. Plan A is usually stealth, when you try to take down the guards and sneak past the cameras without getting detected. If you fail,
that's the alarm. Time for plan B.
then plan B comes into the action, where you start gunning down cops left and right without even a second thought. Hell, you can't even recruit the cops to start killing their own, which just, it has always been pretty stupid. Like, how can you convince an officer who has trained for situations like this, both mentally and physically, in order to become an agent of service and protection, to gun down his squad mates without even a shred of doubt? You don't even have to keep an eye on him. He will go out of his way to kill other cops. What are you telling him that is this effective?
You can't scare me, Batman.
Let me give you one word of advice.
Okay, I'll tell.
What did he say?
Anyways, I should add that you can half stealth some heists like No Mercy and the Diamond, but eventually they'll go loud anyways. Yes, there are cameras around, but according to the game, destroying them reduces police intel on you. What does this mean? No one f***ing knows. There are so many different speculations about it. To keep it simple, destroy the cams, okay? They may not do good, but they will not do harm. Some of these heists have their own small details that kind of got my interest. No, I'm not talking about the fact that you can puncture car tires in Heat Street, but it's pretty cool though, right? The attention to detail shows that they actually cared about what they were making. This time, I'm talking to you, Payday 3. For one, there is no such a thing as a loot bag in this game. You simply just collect the loot in a very long and boring sequence, then it just... Yep, just that. Sometimes you actually do carry the loot, but it has no effect on your speed, and there is no extra loot. You just have one primary objective. But the most interesting detail in this game to me is in the No Mercy heist. Obviously, it would have been the coolest heist, it's a crossover. But still, I really like how they designed this heist originally. For those of you who don't know, in Payday 2, the gang steals a virus from No Mercy Hospital, which is a famous location in Left 4 Dead. And this virus later on infects Bane. But in Payday the Heist, it was implied that the gang stole the virus that started Left 4 Dead. They even made some subtle references to Left 4 Dead, like this cool looking poster, or the fact that you can sometimes meet Bill in an elevator. They also made some not very subtle references.
Come on, faster! You left for dead.
They painted the lethality of this virus very well. The government starts to bomb the hospital with fighter jets to not let the gang get out. It really felt like a world-ending virus. I still can't get behind the fact that Overkill retconned No Mercy to make the heist fit in the career section of Payday 2. Overkill, my man. I don't think anyone out there actually bought Payday 2 because of the lore, but I appreciate that you cared about it anyways. Now, tell me, dear heister, what exactly makes these heists eventful? These special enemies.
Wakey, wakey, little baby!
And pretty much every one of them from Payday 2 are present here. We got tasers, dozers, cloakers, shields, and snipers. And yes, the snipers are still pretty f***ing annoying. The difference being that this time, these special enemies feel a lot more important. In Payday 2, you can spot a dozer and think, nah. But in Payday the Heist, these special dudes can be an actual threat that you got to prepare for. They usually come in one at a time, and Bane feels the need to announce it each time.
They're sending in several bulldozers. They've sent in a group of cloakers. I'm picking up some signals here. They're sending in special units. Be on the lookout. You guys got an incoming shield. They've sent in at least 2 shields.
And believe me, when you hear him announce it, you'd want to get ready. That is not to say that the loud approach is all similar to Payday 2. There is one huge difference. The unique assault mechanic of Payday 2 is Captain Winters, who occasionally shows up like he owns the situation, but walks out after 2 shots, leaving his men to die in front of his eyes. Well, we have no Captain Winters here. Instead, we got the never-ending assault waves.
That's quite big.
Once you reach the final stage of a heist, the game starts an assault wave that will never end to force you to escape, and when it starts, you better run. I should note that this mechanic also does exist in Payday 2. In some heists, there's a point of no return counter at the top, and they also brought it back entirely for Payday 3 and renamed it the Final Charge. That is, if anyone still cares about Payday 3. But it's much more prominent in Payday the Heist.
Okay, point of no return, guys. Pick up the pace. Run! This assault wave will never end. Just run. Move it.
Now that you know what you're going to get into, it's time to know who you are going to get into this with. Unlike Payday 2, which had literally anyone who has ever committed crime in any piece of media, this time we only got the original 4. Dallas, Hoxton, Wolf, and Chains. I personally think that these catchy names also make communication a lot easier. In Payday 2, we usually use colors to address each other, but here we can use the heister's name. Dallas in this game looks, he looks a bit off. I'm not even talking about that atrocious cursed looking mask. He looks like David Geddes from Red Dead Redemption. Like, if I give him a white hat, he looks like he owns a lot of land.
It's good to have land.
Hoxton in this game is actually wearing Houston's mask from Payday 2. That's because it was originally his before they decided to replace him for the sequel, and then they brought him back again. Because what makes you think that people will be fine with a British man not being British? Chains shows a lot of professionalism which matches his military experience. He's also the only heister who wears a white suit that makes him stand out even more. Wolf is, well, he's Wolf. He's insane. A lot of sophisticated people, including me, actually like this a lot more for two reasons. One, the fact that we had anyone join the gang really made it hard to sell the Payday gang for me. I mean, come on, you want me to believe that the gang who robbed the freaking White House actually let Ethan and Hila in?
You wanna leave, don't you? Stay down, fucking baby. Don't think I won't kill you. If you shit yourself, I got baby wipes. Now stay down.
They even let in a bunch of characters that shouldn't be heisters, like Joy. She's a nerd hacker. Why is she in the front line with the gang? They liked Joy so much that they brought her back for Payday 3. Now look, I'm not saying I don't like Joy, but look, hear me out, okay? Let me explain. And reason number two, there are way too many characters that no one cares about. Look at me dead in the eye and tell me that you play as Bonnie. Or even better, you play as Rust. I have never seen anyone play as Rust. On a bit of a side note, I don't even know why the gang let Rust join. He betrayed his old MC family to join the gang. That is the worst possible candidate to let in. That's not to say that every addition was bad. I can get behind Sydney or Clover as a female heister because they're actually interesting characters. Okay, I know this is a bit unnecessary, but like I was doing some research on Clover and Sydney in this section just to see where these characters came from, and I came across a lot of unwanted ship arts in Google of Payday heisters, which just is fine. It's harmless, like harmless ship art, but shipping Payday heisters, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It just feels weird, you know. Is it only me who finds them weird? It's just some of these ships are between characters that never even interact in the entire story of Payday. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's just get back to the video. Even for males, they implemented some of them much better than others. John Wick, for example, needed assistance for a contract he picked up in Washington, D.C., which was in character for him since we do see him ask for help in movies, and who is a better candidate than professional heisters?
You a dog person, John?
Sophia?
Wick has been taken into custody.
Or Jacket. I absolutely love Hotline Miami. I have a playlist on the game which you should watch because why not? I love how they handled him in Payday 2. They came up with a unique 3D design both for him and the mobsters. They even came up with the tape recorder to make him speak even though he isn't supposed to. But then we have a character like Jiro.
Bombastic side eye.
Jiro joined the gang because he was looking for his son, and Bane promised to find him if he helps the gang. First of all, I don't get why Bane even did this, given that they don't need any more heisters. And two, it turns out that Bane killed Jiro's son because he was a murky water. Sure, why not overkill? It's totally not because you had no idea where to go with Jiro's storyline and just wanted to wrap it up. So listen to me when I say they added a lot of these characters without having any specific direction for them. The fact that there's only 4 heisters in Payday the Heist, each of them with their own personalities and characteristics, makes them more unique and paints an image of the unity of the crew. But hey, your selection of character doesn't actually mean anything. They're all cosmetic. Let's talk about what actually matters. Your planning options in Payday the Heist are much more limited compared to Payday 2, but ironically, you'll need to be doing a lot more thoughtful planning in this game. Let's walk through every aspect. Every Payday player has an unspoken bond with their custom loadout. Whether it's an assault rifle, a shotgun, a comically large spoon, the selection of guns in Payday 2 is so much, and I mean so much. While it is good to have a wide range of options, I find a lot of these weapons simply the worst version of others. The arsenal in Payday the Heist, on the other hand, is much more limited, but that doesn't exactly mean it's worse. There are some pros about it. First of all, every weapon in this game kicks ass. When you hit an enemy, you really feel like you did some damage. Of course, the ammo you can carry and the ammo pickup rate is lower, but they kick a hell of a lot more than Payday 2. Secondly, the limitation of guns makes each of them unique. They all have unique stats and perks, which means there simply isn't a better or worse gun in Payday the Heist. It just comes down to whichever one you think fits your playstyle. And thirdly, the customization in this game is much simpler. So simple that it doesn't even exist. You see, the customization in Payday 2 is one of the best things about that game. It's wide and has so many options that you can turn your gun into a unique piece of artwork for the world to appreciate. But it can also be very overwhelming to a new player who might not exactly know how to build their arsenal. Well, you can label this as a blessing or a curse, but Payday the Heist does the customization for you. You can level up your guns by using them, and as they level up, the game automatically adds attachments to them for you, which means your gun will definitely be getting better every time, it just may not go the direction you want it. Right next to the arsenal, we have the gadgets. In Payday the Heist, there are 4 types of gadgets: doctor bags, ammo bags, trip mines, and turrets. The latter 2 are barely even used, but the first 2, you'd see them in every heist. They look different than Payday 2. The ammo bag is actually a gym bag filled with ammo, which is clever. These gadgets are necessary to complete any heists, since you'll be taking a lot more damage this time around, and as I said, you will run out of ammo much faster. The crew usually picks one specific convenient spot that's accessible quickly and safe to deploy their gadgets and use it as a refill station, which also means that heists that need you to progress towards a destination are very, very hard, because there is no accessible location that would be close to you at all times. But do you know the best part about the preparations in Payday 2? The skill system.
You're bad. Skill issue. You crashed your car into my house, and I have the skill issue?
The fact that I can train myself to become Jesus Christ and revive my teammates without even touching them. And oh, don't even get me started on perk decks. Hello! Do you often get shot while at work? Is it common for officers of the law to fill you up with lead? Are you tired of constantly asking for medic bags? Introducing alcoholism. With our new stock alcohol, take one sip of this flask and you'll become bulletproof. Alcoholism. Your dad was right. The skill system, on the other hand, in this game is, well, it's not bad. It's much more beginner friendly and less complex. Perk decks don't even exist, and when it comes to skills, you basically have 4 different classes: Assault, Sharpshooter, Support, and Technician. You pick one before each heist, and as you play with it, you unlock new skills in that class. Each of these classes focus on specific abilities. For example, Support is concerned about assisting your teammates. So if you upgrade in that field, your doctor bags can heal your teammates more. Like I said, more beginner friendly. Once you unlock a skill, you will have it. There is no infamy to reset your skills or skill builds, which takes away a lovely aspect of Payday 2. Playing around with skill points and making different builds added so much variety to the game, and it made you think twice about what skill is worth your points. But I still say whichever one you prefer is really based on your own personal taste. Everything we talked about so far was to tell you that Payday the Heist had more of a direction than Payday 2. Don't get me wrong, I love Payday 2, but we got to be honest, that game turned into something unrecognizable from what it originally was. It's no longer about a crew who take on scores, it's more about a crew that are somehow present in every single piece of media. While Payday the Heist instead had a tone. It is a dark themed game about a crew of professionals who take on scores. It managed to build a much more stable and recognizable atmosphere and theme, even managing to portray the heists much more realistically because of the difficulty of the game. This game is so much harder than Payday 2.
Oh man, it's so hard! Oh, it's so hard!
Sometimes for prominent reasons like cops doing so much more damage, and sometimes for deeper ones, like the absence of skills that make Payday 2 a lot easier. But the hardest part of Payday the Heist for me was recording it. For some reason, whenever I pressed record to get some footage for this game, this is what came out.
Take care of the cops! Get the fuck down! Down the ground, motherfucker! Everybody stay down!
There's some intense gameplay going on in the background, but you can't see any of it. So let me draw a conclusion. Payday the Heist, contrary to what most people think, is not a dumbed down version of Payday 2. These two games are like siblings. One of them grew up to like Taylor Swift and the other one to like Evanescence. And I felt like I need to make this video because a lot of people just assume,
oh, why bother with this game when all of its content is already in Payday 2 anyways?
Well, I'm telling you, bother.
It's pretty good.
So, I got a Patreon now. Just thought I'd let you know. $5 a month, support the channel. I'll see you guys around, okay? Bye bye.